One of the first things when you see an Ivara out on the field, whether if it's a prime or regular Ivara, the first thing you always see guys do is they do this. Because it's the standard, it's the basics when it comes to Ivara. You do not want enemies to see you, period. You do not want enemies to see you, period. All right. And when it comes to my strongest Ivara build, I build just for that. Have as much duration as you can, but as you can see off of my build, 183 is more than enough. Now, what you can do, you don't need. I'm gonna repeat this. You do not need vitality. I'll just have it there as a placeholder. What you can do, remove this, put quick thinking over there. And if you have yourself a maxed out narrow-minded like I do, or if you want to do like how we used to do back in the day, prioritize as far as with having a certain rank on it, 7, 8, 9, whatever, or have it halfway to your convenience, so be it. Because range does not matter on Ivara. Range does not matter on Ivara, okay? You could have this in there, have 255, or you could just be like, you know what, go all in and just have that 282, because again, range, who really cares about range? Now, when it comes to her abilities, it's just going to come down to duration, the amount of energy you have, and on top of that energy, she has a lot of energy to burn, okay? And when you're next to guys stealing their loot, all of that stuff, 30-40% of the time, or at max 50% of the time, they're gonna drop an energy orb. You pick that up, keep moving on your merry way. So as far as with my build, I got energy siphon, enemy sense. She has built-in radar anyway, but having more radar on Ivara makes her completely broken. You see everything. You should not be surprised by anything when it comes to Ivara, because all you gotta do is look on the map and see a whole bunch of red dots. Augur secrets with prime flow, quick thinking, streamline. Yes, you need streamline with Ivara because her energy will drain the longer you stay in prowl. So you gotta keep that in mind. You wanna have streamline in there so it could be manageable. It will still drain, but it's good to have streamline in there. Narrow-minded, if you want to go all out with your duration, it's no problem. Prime continuity to go with intensify and constitution. All right. When it comes to enemies, however, they do not stand a chance when it comes to Ivara. It doesn't matter how strong they are. And I practically just have a Rotka setup when it comes to her, because Rotka Ceranos, when you use it, it replenishes energy. So if you're going to use a Rotka setup, you do not need Streamline, because when it procs, it gives you energy. So on that note, you just have a free slot here to do whatever it is that you want to do. All right. If you want to add more power strength, you can. That's entirely up to you. There's so many ways that you can mod Ivara to your convenience, to your playstyle, and all of that stuff. It just comes down to what you want to do. I mean, hell, natural talent. Who doesn't like natural talent as far as using your abilities much more quickly? All right. So, I was going to put back Streamline in there as a placeholder. Now, as far as with enemies like I was talking about before, they don't stand a chance when it comes to Ivara. All you gotta do is cloak yourself. And since there are going to be enemies around and they'll be bunched up like this, you could just go and put these dudes to sleep. And then, to your soul's delight, you could just use her ultimate, because when you do this, the headshot multiplier will be kicking in like crazy on her. As long as you aim for the head, her ultimate will do the damage, and it will take care of everything else. Now, when enemies come back up, it's like, oh, you know, they're up. They probably have their senses up. It really doesn't matter all too much. You can just go and keep putting them to sleep by your convenience. So now you see he's dead. And now they're going to be shooting at him because I procced radiation. You can mess with these guys. You really can. And Ivara makes it way easier than people give her credit for. Way easier. So as you can see right there, keep aiming for their heads. And they will be down for the count. Bam. Bam. Done. Take it slow, take it methodical when it comes to her. Because in the end, when there's so many enemies are around, and be like, damn, which target I should take out, which one should I take out, which one I shouldn't. Don't worry about that all too much. Do not worry about that. Prioritize your enemies. Just prioritize your enemies and you will be fine. You will be fine. Because as long as you are invis, they won't do anything to you. So it's like you could just walk up next to them and just keep taking whatever it is that you need to take from them. Just like so. And probably pistol ammo, full shotgun, and all that stuff. So even if I were to take everything from them, I'm already set. So it doesn't matter. Alright? Headshot multiplier. You must be wondering, why am I doing so much damage? And this is the Radka Cerdos. Well, Riven, headshot multiplier while you're in Prowl. When you're in Prowl, it's extremely, extremely important to aim for their heads if you want to get the most out of your damage. See? You want to aim for their head while you're in Prowl. You want to aim for their heads. And it takes like at least 3 to 4 arrows if your aim is good. And you could mess them up real nasty. That was a nasty slash proc on that dude. Mess with the armor there. And he's gone. Look at this guy here. They're just wandering around. This one normally happens if you're in a solo. They'll just wander around. So it really doesn't matter as to what happens in the end. As long as you just aim for their heads, they will take the most amount of damage and they will die. This is why Ivara is so damn strong in survival. Alright. And if you look into the description when it comes to her abilities, it will explain exactly that. Be in Prowl, become invis, and steal loot from unsuspecting enemies, or take them out, take prey with deadly headshots. My headshot damage right there as far as the multiplier is 1.62. So that's a lot of headshot damage going into them. And plus on top of that, when you add the Riven that I have for my Radka, it's like, yep, it's going to do just enough. So you could do Prowl, use Artemis Bow, headshot multiplier on them, game over. Put them to sleep. You could use any other melee weapon you want and do a whole bunch of damage onto them. I like to use a dagger just in case I want to do a finisher on them if they don't know where I am and I could get the drop on them. As far as Navigator, you don't need to use this. This was fun at the time when she first came in the game. It's like, oh, let me aim at their heads with this. You don't need to use this. Your first, your third, and your fourth. That's it. But this is the #1 priority. Go and Prowl first and then do everything else. Alright? So that's how it is with Ivara in a nutshell. And make sure you use bows. Don't be using weapons that have like bullets and all of that stuff. When it comes to Ivara, just stick to her theme. Just use Dread, Serenos, whatever kind of bows you like to use, because it goes with her theme and she looks sexier this way. All right. So that's going to be the video, guys. So let me know what you think as far as with Ivara in a nutshell. All right. Let me know as far as with your builds as well, too, because the build that I have for Ivara, it may not look the best, but for me, it's the strongest, because I could go into a long survival, outlast everybody, because all I need to do is use one ability, and that's practically all she wrote. All right. So that's going to be it for me, and I'm going to check y'all in the next video, man.